Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Excel Help Desk. This is the #1 place for you to get Excel VBA help on the internet. In my opinion, if you're watching on replay, you can go ahead, skip through the stream, use the navigation bar at the bottom. I'll also put some timestamps in the description below so you can find something in the stream that's going to help you. We're going to cover a range of topics today, as always, on the Excel Help Desk, and I'm absolutely sure you can find something to help you. But if you're watching live, a big welcome to you. Thank you for joining the Excel Help Desk one more time. And it's my aim today to try to create some value for you in some way, get you some Excel help, whether it's formulae, whether it's VBA, whether you're trying to work out, can I even do this in Excel? Whatever your Excel questions are, you can put them in the chat and we will do our best to answer them. So if you're watching, make sure you say hello in the chat. Let's see who's with us. David's with us. David, how you doing? Good to see you again. Bart's with us as well. Bart, how are you doing? And Davinci, let me know if you're with us, but we are going to deal with Davinci's question probably first up today. And yeah, Davinci has left a question in the chat. So with the Excel Help Desk, before the stream starts, you can go into the chat and leave your question there. You can also shoot me your question via email. Davinci here is talking about, yeah, you can go ahead and read the comment. I have 7 departments, and each department has certain consumption materials. I want to track these consumables daily, so I'm looking to create a form. So Davinci is looking to create a form. What kind of form do you think that should be, or what are the options for that form? A bit more information from Davinci here. There are 7 tabs for 7 departments, and each tab has a few labels according to consumables. So I will just enter the date and the quantity in the form, and the same can be copied to an Excel sheet. So it sounds like a typical situation. We want to input some data. It's going to be the same data or similar data each day. It's that classic repeated task. So it sounds like, yeah, could be a good job for VBA. And then finally from Davinci here, so that when I want to graphically analyze the consumption, it can be done automatically. So if you were Davinci's Excel consultant, then what would you recommend for this situation? And let me put in the chat now. What do you think about Excel user forms? And, you know, are they the only option here using an Excel user form? I've been looking at some other options myself this year, using them on projects as well. So we'll talk about those in just a second. But a big welcome to everybody else who's joining us. Big welcome to Lee. How are you doing, Lee? Hicham is with us. Big welcome to Hicham. How are you doing? Haven't seen you on the channel before, so let us know your Excel questions. What are you trying to do with Excel? Let us know a little bit about yourself. Jim is with us as well, up in Newcastle. Jim, how are you doing? Haven't seen you on the channel before either. So let me know what you're trying to do with Excel. Are you learning Excel? Are you using it as a professional? Are you coming to it later in life? With all of those categories covered on the channel. So let us know. And Davinci, yeah, eagerly waiting. Fantastic to have you in the chat. So yeah, Davinci, I've just covered your comment now. I've just read it out a few seconds ago in the stream. So let me know if there's any additional information. And yeah, do give us plenty of feedback in the chat. Got a question from David as well. Okay, right. So David's question is about dates and user forms. So David, if you copy that question and put it back in the chat once we've dealt with the first question we're dealing with, we will deal with that afterwards, David. So if you stay with us a few minutes. Wayan is with us too. Wayan, how are you doing? Wayan says, I'm interested in Excel user form, in Excel VBA, and also creating user forms. It's all about user forms today. So please show me how to load Excel VBA and user form using Excel. So Wayan, we have a series which is called Excel user forms, how to input data and manage a database using Excel VBA, something like that. If you go to YouTube and just input Tiger Excel VBA user form, you'll be able to see our series there. It's a popular series, got several 100,000 views, and I'm sure you will get value out of it. Lee's under the weather. This is not good news, my friend. And, you know, it's getting to autumn now. You know, the nights are drawing in. I'm up quite early in the morning, and it's dark until like 7 o'clock in the morning in the UK now. So that does depress me a bit. So David says, I love user forms. What do you think about user forms? And a lot of these discussions are to do with data input and particularly to do with Excel user forms. So What do you think? For me, it's really a bit of a love-hate relationship, Excel user forms. I love it when you've got a user form properly set up, you've done all the programming, you've done all the testing, put in all those validation mechanisms, it's all working well, and you have a customer who understands how to use it properly. That situation is great, and that allows you to get value out of Excel user forms. But there's a few kind of stepping stones to get there. You know, those things I was just talking about. User forms involve a lot of programming. They involve a lot of VBA in the background. And and if you work through our series, you're going to see it's really quite code intensive creating a user form. I also mentioned validation. And David's question, David's talking about getting a user form to display a date. This is a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Just this afternoon, I had a meeting with a customer of ours who's over in Canada. We're working with UK dates, they're working with US dates, and the same mechanism works perfectly on my system, as I demonstrated in the meeting, doesn't work on my customer system. So that's dates in user forms. So there's problems with validation. There's also problems at the moment with user forms with display issues. And this just seemed to creep into Excel a couple of years ago. And let me know in the chat if you found this, but when you flash up a user form, you're not always sure how it's going to size, particularly if you've got multiple screens that I have here, and you might well have yourself. You're never quite sure where the user form is going to appear, what size it's going to be. So you have to put more code into the back end to guarantee that. So for me, if they're working well, it's great, but lacking some practicality, user forms, and there's some good other options. So Davincis, I would say at least consider another option. And I've got really into Google Forms this year and into Microsoft Forms as well. Two great options for collecting data. You know, as long as you don't have thousands and thousands of boxes, as long as you've just got, you know, a reasonable amount of data you're trying to collect, and for 99.9% of people, it will be sufficient. Google Forms or Microsoft Forms, they're a great option. What are the advantages? Well, firstly, that display issue I was just talking about, there's no display issue when you're using Microsoft Forms or Google Forms. You know, you can guarantee it's going to work on pretty much everybody's system. There might be a sign-in involved, but the person who's giving you the data might have to sign in. You know, that's not ideal. But, you know, most people these days have a Google account. But the display issue is just much, much better. You can have multiple people using the file at the same time. If you've got a desktop-based user form, it's only going to work on one person's desktop. And yet they're just much more practical. These forms, the online forms, Google Forms, Microsoft Forms, easy to put together, easy for people to navigate to, easy for people to actually input the data. So I would recommend considering that. Now, you're saying to me, but Chris, how do we get the data into Excel? You know, if we're using a user form, it's quite easy for us to use VBA to get data somewhere into the spreadsheet and to build a data set somewhere in the spreadsheet. Absolutely. And that's exactly what we demonstrate in the video series I've mentioned 2 or 3 times already today. However, if you're using an online form, all your data is going to be collated somewhere online. So if you're using Google Sheets, Google automatically, I think, creates an Excel file, and it just stacks up the data in an online Excel file, effectively in a Google Sheet. You can then use a Power Query. So it's one of these options here. So if you go to Get Data, I think I go to From Other Sources and From Web. I think it's that easy. Then that online spreadsheet that collates all the data, you can get a sharing link from there, and you drop it in here, drop it into Power Query. That allows you to bring the data into desktop Excel. And now you're in desktop Excel, you can do anything you would normally do in desktop Excel, including using VBA to automate processes. And this basic mechanism, it's driven 2 or 3 projects for me this year. There's one project, again, I was talking to the customer this week over in Florida. It's driven a whole process in their company. They have people making requests on the forms. All of the requests are gathered into desktop Excel. Then we use VBA to process those requests and to send out a load of emails to people. It's just saved them a huge amount of money. So Davincis, I hope that's not too long an explanation, but I'd really recommend looking for other options apart from Excel user forms. And Davincis says, I think user forms are hard to create, but easier and fun to work. Great customizations, but hard codes. Don't get me wrong. That aspect of user forms I love, putting them together, getting the code working, perfecting them, optimizing the appearance. I love all that. And if you're working for yourself, and if the file you're using is for yourself, then that's probably okay, all of that stuff. But once you create something for somebody else, or you're in an organizational environment with a file that lots of people are going to use, that just massively complicates matters. And there you often need a much more practical solution. So Davincis, any other thoughts on that? I'll go back to your comments and we'll give you some more input. Let's see who else is with us today. Pramod from New Delhi. Welcome, Pramod. How are you doing? Don't think I've seen you on the channel before. So let me know how you're going with Excel. Welcome to TDT Saver. Who knows how that name's pronounced? Who knows? But a big welcome to you. Do you have any course on Udemy on Excel and VBA? Glad you asked. We have a course that is in development, and it's going to be called Excel VBA, the Tiger Way. Now, after this stream is going to be about an hour to an hour and a half. We're going to go straight into another stream that's exclusively for people who've signed up for our Excel VBA Building Blocks course. I'm just flashing up the graphic now. You can see the link in the description below. You can sign up for this live session, the Excel VBA Building Blocks course. What it is? What is it? Well, it's exactly what it says on the tin, really. It teaches you the building blocks of Excel VBA. Now, I know I'm confusing some people because this is a free course. The Building Blocks course, I'm going to go ahead and pull it up now. It's 6 YouTube videos. And then on the website, you get some bonus resources. So you get about 3 hours additional content. You get some additional videos, including the live stream after this session. So this is what it looks like, Excel VBA Building Blocks. You can go ahead and sign up. It's absolutely free. You'll get to access all of these cool resources, including this 2-hour walkthrough video of me building an Excel VBA application, which is here, complete model build walkthrough. Can you see this? A 2-hour, 15-minute video of me building an actual Excel application. It's our formula quiz tool that you might have seen on the channel. So you get that, only get that on the website, and it's absolutely free, and you can go ahead and sign up. The link is in the description below, of course, and it gets you access to the next live stream. The next live stream, which is going to start in about an hour to an hour and a half. That's just for people on the Building Blocks course. And the link to the live session is down at the bottom here. Now, why is that relevant to the original question? Well, it's relevant because in the next stream, we're going to talk about what do you want? What kind of VBA course do you want? Because I want to design it for people like you, the biggest fans on the channel, the people who are watching this kind of thing. So make sure you get into that stream. We're going to talk more about that. But currently we don't have a beginner VBA course on the website. We have Excel VBA simulation from beginner to professional. That's an advanced VBA course. That will do you a lot of good, but it's not meant for beginners. So we don't do anything on Udemy. We only do courses and memberships through the Tiger Spreadsheets Solutions website. Lee says, date found using converting into text. Yeah, since your advice makes things easier, read dates. Yeah, there's a few things that can help you with dates, but I think the formula that Lee is talking about here is Excel's is text, isn't it, in the spreadsheet? Yeah, Excel's text formula. So you can choose a cell that has a value in, and then in the format text, a component here, you can choose what format you get, something like this. So the text formula, very useful for working with dates. So good idea there, Lee. Yeah, David says, I agree, better to use the sheet as input, but to use a user form to do the updating part. Very interesting idea, David. I know it's something we've spoken about on our membership program. David is one of our members. We speak about this kind of thing all the time on Members Monday. What about using the spreadsheet to do the input? What about this idea? So this is very relevant to our original question and our original discussion. I've done this as well, and I've had a lot of success doing this, just using the spreadsheets and creating a nice input form in the spreadsheet. Alt-HB outline borders, Alt-HBS here. I'm just creating a very simple form in the spreadsheet. And you might say to me, well, Chris, that doesn't look very good, but I haven't really got a chance to make it look good in the stream. But with some more sophisticated formatting, you could make this look as good as a user form. What's the advantage of doing it in the spreadsheet? Alt-HW20 here. Well, your input cell, we have input validation options. We have inbuilt validation options, Alt-AVV on the Windows PC. You can also go to data and data validation, which is one of these options, this option here, right? Yeah. And this gives you control over the input data. This is a big problem with user forms. We've only got these, what are they called? Text boxes or something that people can use to input. We have to have VBA-based validation going on in the background, but it's very easy with VBA to ask for a number, to ask for a specific text length, to ask for a time or date. So you get much better validation controls using cells than you do using user forms. So this is also a solution for our original question. You could build some kind of form using the spreadsheet. Yes, you need some more sophisticated formatting probably to make it look like a form, but you get, in a practical sense, it's just advantageous because we get these very nice validation options, and we don't have to deal with displaying a user form, which, as I said at the beginning, can be problematic. Yeah, good question here. Yeah, we need a blog where we can post Excel VBA queries. I would say the channel comments, so the YouTube channel comments, you can absolutely do that. You can also head over to the website and you can leave comments on blog posts on the website, and I can get back to you there. So David says, I agree, better to use the sheet as an input. Yep, that's what we were just talking about, of course. Bharat is with us. How are you doing? We have offices for different calendar weeks. How to get these in a single column. Offices for different calendar weeks. Sunday to Saturday, Saturday, Friday, Monday to Saturday. How to get these in a single column. Well, we can look at some formulae that might help us. Now, just bear with me a second. I'm going to go ahead and find our Excel formula quiz tool or something close to that. And this gives us the full list of formulae. And I'm just going to find the date and time formulae and just point out a few. Just point out a few that might help you in this situation. Enable macros here. This is from our membership program as well. So if you like doing live things, we do 2 live sessions a month. You get access to a forum, all kinds of other good stuff too. So that's Members Monday. You can check it out on the website. So I would recommend Excel's date and time formulae. So the first idea that came to mind when you're saying we need offices for different calendar weeks, we've got this week number function. If I say week num here, serial number. So if I say this cell and then say, hang on, slow down, the 1st of October 2021, and then using the week num formula, hit the tab key here, and then just hit this, just reference this cell. It's saying week 40. So this is just one example of Excel's date and time formulae. Can be useful. Dates and times are probably the most difficult thing in Excel. But what about this week number formula for you, Bharat? This would give you the week number in the year. And I'd recommend checking out some of the other weekday formula. There's net work days as well that gives you whole work days between 2 dates. This file is available, by the way. We've got a video called something like I tried to learn 500 Excel formulae because there's now about 500 Excel formulae available. I tried to learn them all. I'm still trying to learn them all. And there's some interesting ones, some ones you can safely ignore, some weird and wonderful ones. But you can download this file. And it's just interesting to have a whole list of formulae. And as I said, why are there ticks here? Well, that's because in our membership program, we're going through them. We're going through all the Excel formulae this year. And every session, people are coming in and like learning new Excel formulae. It's going to have impact in their work. So Bharat, I hope that gives you some ideas. Let's go back to this view. Michelle, how are you doing? Michelle is an OG of the channel. So I think Michelle first left a comment on the channel in like 2015, 2016. So 5 or 6 years ago, that's how long people have been with us here at Tiger. So big welcome to you, Michelle. Michelle, I think you have a knitting channel. Is that right? Is it knitting? I hope I'm not confusing you with somebody else, but feel free to put the link in the chat. I'm very happy to send some people your way, hopefully, if we've got any knitting fans here. Salahadin, welcome, my friends. Hi, bro. How you doing? Good to see you. And David says, yeah, I agree with Seva. So Seva is saying we need a blog where we can post Excel VBA queries. I don't want this to sound like a sales pitch. It isn't a sales pitch. This is a free session. But guys, we do all this in our membership program. I've got to be honest with you. If you want a good service, you've got to pay sometimes, guys. This is why we have a membership community. Yeah, our Members Monday membership community. We've got a member forum. You're like, I need to get an answer to this. I want some high quality responses from good quality people like me and the other members, all the other members in our member community. It costs, I think it's £13 a month. That's about $15, $16 a month. Yeah. If you're serious about your Excel education, yeah, that's nothing really. As I said, I don't want this to turn into a sales pitch. It's not. This stream is not a sales pitch, but we do all this stuff, guys, but you do have to invest a little bit because we can't do it all for free. I'd love to be able to do it all for free, but we have to run this like a business. Davincis, thanks for your feedback, my friend. Thank you for the suggestions. Google Forms, I think I should give it a try. That is what I would recommend, giving Google Forms a try first, because it's a lot easier to put a form together on Google Forms. I put one together again. We're going to look at it in the next stream. I put one together today. It took about 15, 20 minutes, if that. And there's some detailed questions in there. All of that data, Google will save to a Google spreadsheet. Then you use Power Query. So just to remind you, go to Excel, data, then you can set up a query here from other sources, from web. That will give you a sheet in the file that will update as new answers come in. That connection is a little bit suspect. I have to say, getting data into the file, that doesn't work 100% smoothly every time, but it usually works. It usually works. Sometimes you have to go in data, refresh the data a few times. Sometimes it seems to work automatically, but it does work eventually, but it's not super smooth. Give Google Forms a try. But for this particular text, I'm limited to Excel because of organizational rules. Okay, if that's the case, then yeah, let's go for user forms. And Davincis, yeah, I would recommend our Excel VBA user form series. So if you just go to YouTube, type in Tiger Excel VBA user form, something like that. It's a 10 video series. It's going to tell you everything you need to know to build exactly that. Good. Okay. FTT says too much. No way. Too much money. Well, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody, my friend. But we do have about 300 videos, free content. But as I said, if you want high quality responses quickly, if you really value your time, I do, and I know other people in the Members Monday community do, then it's well worth that. If it's not for you, then it's not for you at this point in your life. That's all good. Michelle has a knitting channel. Michelle, if you put the link in the chat, I'll see if Bart can approve that link. Good. Right. So what other questions have we got on the Excel help desk? So now is a good time to put the questions in. We did have a couple more, so I'm going back up the chat now. Yeah, so we've got David's question here. So David's question is, I have a date in format DDMM YYYY HH:MM. It's displaying correctly as a date serial. I want to populate my user form from the sheet, and I'm battling to let it show in the text box in the correct format. Okay. I'm just going to have to close Excel. I have a weird graphical issue in my Excel where sometimes I click on a cell and it doesn't select the cell. It selects the cell 10 rows below. Really quite annoying. Anyway, I seem to have fixed it now. So yeah, a couple of things to think about here, David. Firstly, I feel your pain. I've found myself in this situation many times working with user forms, but there's one particular function in VBA that I'd recommend. go insert module here, which is the VBA equivalent of the text function in the worksheet, which is the format function, of course. Let's go option explicit. Not necessary, not absolutely necessary, but good practice. And let's say sub format test here. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's just put a date in. So 1st of the 10th, 2021. Now, David's saying you have a date serial. So what does David mean by date serial? Well, each number in Excel, each date rather in Excel does have a number. Each day has a number. And what's the first day in Excel? Well, if you type in the 1st of the 1st, 1900, and then go ahead and clear the format. So Alt-H-E-A on the Windows, Alt-H-E-F, of course, on the Windows PC. It's going to default to 1, once the formats are cleared. So let's clear the formats here as well. To clear the formats, you can also go home. Is it form? No, clear here, and then clear formats. So now it says 44,470. So that's because this date, the 1st of October 2021, is 44,470 days later than the other date, which is the 1st of January 1900. Okay, so Excel's actually understanding these dates using these date serial numbers. How can you get those into the format you want in VBA? Well, you need this text function. Excel text format function, rather. Let's do it. So let's say, let's go for range C12 here equals format. And then I'm going to say C9, range C9, of course, because we're in VBA, not in the spreadsheet. And then we can specify the format we want. So I'm just going to say day, day, month, month, year, year, like this. Now we can run routine, going to hit the F5 key here, and you can see we've now got our date in, and we've got it in the format that we want. Although this is quite confusing, I think, because there's cell formatting on here. The cell formatting has given us 4 figures for the year 2021, rather than 2 figures that we initially that we asked for. So yeah, this is what working with dates and times in Excel can be like, guys. It can be like this. But yeah, I really recommend this format function. It's the equivalent of the text function in the worksheet, and this is kind of the best I can do, David. And I do a lot of work with this function, particularly when working with user forms. What's the kind of ultimate solution with user forms and dates? Well, there's 2 different ways I do it. I either have, if the user needs to pick a date, there are date picker options. You can download date pickers for Excel. That all sounds a bit dodgy to me, not legitimate. So I don't do any of that. I have a setup where I have 3 text boxes. So I have a text box for day, a text box for month, and a text box for year. And then the user chooses each one. Then we do some validation in the background to see if that's actually a valid date or not. So that's one option. Another option is to somehow limit the choice of dates that they can actually look at and use and list those dates. So if it's one date from the next month, you can do that in VBA. You can create a list in the back end in the worksheet of all the dates in the next month, and then populate a list box or a combo box, more likely a list box, I think, in the user form. So you're getting the user to choose from a number of options rather than actually inputting the date. All of these workarounds I've used at some point. As I said, like I'm actually working on a project now where I've got to come up with a workaround for it. It just often seems quite difficult. Good. That's a very good series. That's where I started, and it helped a lot. Yes, I think David's talking about the Excel VBA user form series there. Good. And David, so David, you're saying it shows a number as 56554 as an example and not as a date. Yeah, David. So I'll recommend using this formats using this format function in Excel VBA. With dates, I've just showed you earlier in the stream, I showed all of the date and time formulae. They can often be helpful. Excel VBA has about 20 date functions as well. It's got this date value function, which is a spreadsheet formula as well. That will convert a date from a text string into a proper date. So if you Google Excel VBA date functions, you're going to be able to see a lot of good options there. Good. So get your questions in, guys. I think we've got one more in the hopper, as it were, but make sure you ask me your questions. Something else apart from dates and times, guys. Let's try to move this on a little bit. So Davincis says, sorry, I'm leaving this live video because I'm going to learn from the 10 video series of user form. Great work, but if the current currency rates won't suck this much, I would be on board for sure. Exactly. Well, we do lots of free stuff, guys, and going to try to do more Excel Helpdesk live sessions, but ultimately the 10-minute videos I do are just a lot more popular than the live sessions. So, but yeah, live content is in our membership programs. Good, David. The formatting on the sheet is working fine. When I populate the text box from the sheet, then it's wrong in the user form. Yeah. So when you're populating to the text box, David, you've got to use this format function. Use this format function. That's going to allow you to get the format that you're looking for. So, guys, after this, guys, we are going into our Excel VBA building blocks finale. And let me tell you briefly about the Excel VBA building blocks series. Here it is. The link is in the description below. So the Excel VBA building blocks series, it's 6 free YouTube videos. And then we've got some videos and resources on the website. We've also got a PDF on the website as well. And it's just your introduction to VBA. I've boiled it down to how many building blocks are there? I think there's 18 building blocks. So these are the 18 things you have to know. We cover 3 building blocks in each of the 6 videos. 6 3s are 18, and we've laid it all out for you on the website. And this is absolutely free. Why is it of interest? Well, because after this stream, we're going to go into a live session for the Excel VBA building blocks. And I'm going to be talking more about the building blocks, answering people's questions, doing everything I can to make sure you're feeling confident in VBA. You've got a firm foundation with Excel VBA automation. So just go ahead, follow the link. Bolt will put the link in the chat. Follow the link to the website and you can sign up, and then we can have more live time. We'll do about half an hour more probably here, and then we'll go over to the VBA building blocks, which isn't public. It's an exclusive session just for our Excel VBA building blocks students. Good. And David says, thanks, fantastic stuff. Good. Okay, I'm going back through the chat, guys. So now's a good time to put a question in. In the chat. Yeah, absolutely. David says, I love user forms, just a lot of work. Yeah, I think that's a good summary. And yeah, for me, a big determinant is if you're using the file yourself, and if you need to do debugging, it's not too much of a big deal. You understand how everything works. If you're giving the file to somebody else, then you often need something a little bit more reliable, doesn't have the display issues, with better data validation, things like that doesn't run off VBA. That's why I think there's other good options now. Okay, going back through the chat, any other questions? Maybe not to do with dates and times. If not, we'll go through some more date and time formulae. Okay, can't see any questions at the moment, guys, but remember, you can join me live in the session as well. So in the video description below, there's a link to join me live. It's very easy. The past 2 Excel help desks, we've had people come in live. We've had some great chats, and it's great for me to understand what you're trying to do. Helps me improve the content here, and I'm absolutely sure we'll create some value for you if you come into the stream. And I'm sure that other people watching will benefit from the questions that you're going to ask. Okay, good. So let's have a look at a few more date and time formulae, or maybe just some other formulae that have been useful for me over the years. Okay, going to enable macros here. Let's go back into Excel. Here we go. Okay. Yep. So what's the story behind this list? Well, I get this email weekly from what's the name of the organization? I can't remember, but the email is called Modelers Miscellany. And the idea is it's a load of articles that are of interest to people, to data analysts and people who are using Excel a lot. And yeah, they sent me in this email, they sent me this article saying Excel now has 500 formulae. Isn't quite true yet. It's not quite true because the new formulae haven't yet, found their way into Excel. But what are the new formulae coming? Well, the lambda formula. The lambda formula is coming. So let me know in the chat. Have you heard of the lambda formula? Just Mina, now you're backstage. You've got to have your camera on to join the screen. Mina. So if you can get your camera on, then we can put you into the stream and we can have a chat. Yep. So the lambda formula is one of the formulae that's coming. The lambda formula is going to allow you to kind of design your own functions in Excel. In some ways, that's interesting, from a kind of academic, technical perspective. It's interesting kind of designing your own functions. But I do think it's going to make spreadsheets kind of more difficult, make spreadsheets kind of more difficult to understand generally. So I've got mixed feelings about the lambda formula, but once I've got to grips with it, I'm going to share that. He says, is this list available anywhere? I got this list off the Microsoft website and just adapted it a bit, but maybe Bart can put the link in the chat. Sorry, Bart, I know I'm working hard today, but we've got a video from about 3 months ago. I think it's called I Tried to Learn 500 Excel Formulae. Take the test. I tried to learn 500 Excel formulae. In fact, I'm going to go ahead now and locate this file. That's the one I want. So let's quickly close this one down. If you bear with me a second, guys. As I said, Bart will put the link in the chat so you'll be able to use this file yourself. Here we go. Excel formula quiz tool. That's what we want. Same goes for you, Oleg. So Oleg, I can see you at backstage, but you do need to have your camera on to join the stream. So if you can get your camera on, we'll be able to get you in the stream, Oleg. But thanks for trying to join anyway. Good. So this is the Excel formula quiz tool. Let's go ahead and close this other Excel file. Don't think we need to save anything there. It's what it looks like. And just so useful. So you can go ahead and start the quiz. And we can start a new quiz here. And we get a question. What does the week num function do? Well, a 1 in 500 chance, but this is one of the formulae we've already covered in this stream. Well, what does it do? It converts a serial number to a number representing where the week falls numerically within a year. So I can answer that. Okay, so I've got 100%. What does the bat text function do? I told you a lot of these formulae are pretty obscure, but it must be to do with Bart, which is the currency in, not Bart backstage, not Tiger Bart. This is the currency in Thailand, right? Bart and maybe some other currencies. I've got 100%. Let's keep going. What does the binom dist function, that must be to do with the binomial distribution, answer that. What does the find and find B function do? It finds one text value within another. That's it, case sensitive. What does the dmin function do? Yeah, it returns a minimum value from selected database entries. Remember, you can download this file, guys, and do this yourself. What does the text join function do? Must combine text in multiple ranges, no? Yeah, is that right? Yes. What does the dbcs function do? It must be this one. All right. Yes, got that one right. What does the concat function do? It combines text from multiple ranges and strings. Correct. What does the odd L yield? Odd L yield? What's that? It must be to do with yields. You see, some of them you can kind of work out just from the language. That's to do with the yields. What does the weekday function do? Converts the serial number to a day of the week. I can answer that. I managed to get 100%. I managed to get 100%. As I said, you can go ahead, follow the link, and you can download this file. It's absolutely free. And you can answer 10 questions. Do that a few times a day. You're going to definitely pick up some new formulae. Good. Lee says, stop showing off. You know what? That's the first time, believe it or not, that I've got 10 out of 10 when I've tried to do this. When I was practicing for the video, I was getting like 7 or 8 out of 10. So Yeah, it will be all right on the night, I suppose. Big welcome to Vivienne. How are you doing? So, are you new to the channel, Vivienne? A big welcome. And what are you trying to do with Excel? Are you working professionally with Excel? Maybe you're trying to learn. Let me know what your situation is. Vivienne says, I'm trying to copy results from advanced filtering to another sheet. It changes from day to day. I'm using a range. It keeps bringing the header row with it. I just want the results. Okay. I'm trying to copy results from advanced filtering to another sheet. So are you using, is it advanced filter here? Is this what you're using? It sounds like it. Is it advanced auto filter or something like that? So I'm not absolutely sure what you're using. But if you're using that, I don't know if you have control of whether you bring the header row in or not. I'm not sure if you have the option to do that. So I would go into the mechanism you're currently using and find the option to do that. Otherwise, Vivienne, you've always got the VBA option. And yeah, I do often recommend the VBA option. We've got many, many VBA tutorials on the channel. If it's a desktop file you're using and multiple people aren't trying to use it at the same time, then VBA really is the way. Why is VBA the best? Because VBA gives us maximum control. VBA gives us maximum control over what's going on. So you can choose which rows, columns you want to bring in. You can choose control whether you want to bring in the header rows or not. We've got a series which is from about 4 or 5 months ago, just one video, which is called how to transfer data in Excel from one cell to another, something like that. Move data around Excel using Excel VBA. I can never remember the specific video titles, but if you just go to the channel homepage, just look through the videos in chronological order. It's about moving data, and that gives you an introduction to moving data using Excel VBA. Yeah, if you can use VBA and you're happy to make the time investment to learn it, and it is worth it many times over, I guarantee, although that can be difficult to appreciate at the beginning. But if you can make the time investment to learn VBA, that's going to give you the best result. It's going to give you a customized, fully bespoke solution. That's what I'd recommend you look at. I know there are advanced filters and other ways of doing it. Another thing to consider, Vivienne, is the filter formula. Anybody using the filter formula? It's still fairly new in Excel. It's one of the new formulae that came in 2019, the filter formula. And it can help you do exactly what you're trying to do, I think, Vivienne. So you want some data to display it somewhere else in the file. You want to filter it and just display some of the results and then not display the headers. I'm not sure if that's possible or not with filter. But if you're using up-to-date Excel, so you're using Excel 365, then the filter formula could be helpful for you. So let us know, Vivienne, if that helps. And if you want to drop into the stream live and talk about it, you can just follow the link in the video description. That'll take you backstage. You just close the YouTube interface and I can bring you into the stream. And Lee says, yes to the filter formula, brilliant piece of kit. We also have a video, believe it or not, we have a video about the filter formula from about March this year, I believe. So if you go back about 20 videos on the channel, there's a video about the filter formula there. I take you through it from absolute beginner level. Okay, we've got about 15 minutes left, guys. So any further questions, or shall I show you some new formulae that I've learnt this year? So Vivienne says filter formula is great tip. Thanks. Yeah, as long as you're using an up-to-date version of Excel, Vivienne, then the filter formula could be the way to go. But before we go any further, guys, let me remind you, we are going into the Excel VBA building blocks stream straight after this, 4:15 UK time, in about 30 minutes. To access that stream, you have to be signed up for the building blocks course, which is absolutely free. Just going to get rid of this comment from Vivienne. Thank you. Yeah, you have to follow the link, which is in the description below. The sign-up's absolutely free. Gets you access to various cool resources to do with learning Excel VBA, of course. And it's going to get you access to the next live stream where I'm going to be teaching more about Excel VBA and really trying to bring everything together for this building blocks course. 6 of these videos are on YouTube. 3 of them are only on the website. And then down at the bottom, you've got the link to the live session that's going to start in about 30 minutes. So make sure you sign up for that one. I will see you there. More live action today. Okay, back into Excel. Any questions coming in here? Good. Bart, keeping Bart busy today. Great job, Bart. Thank you. And Lee says, yeah, easy to understand. Excellent stuff. Yeah, and Bart's got some good video links for Vivienne in the chat. Yeah. So also, guys, I'm telling you to download so much stuff. I know. Everything I've told you so far is free, by the way. So it's not a sales pitch. You might have to put your email in for some of them, but all of this is free, including this one, including our Excel formula quiz tool. So yeah, we've got 500 Excel formulae, and all of them are tested using the quiz tool. And yeah, we're on a mission at the moment with our member community, which is Members Monday. And we've got a few of our members in the chat today. It's good to see. We're on a mission to kind of learn all 500 Excel formulae. And in that process, we've uncovered some really strange formulae, some weird ones, you know, some really cool ones. Let me just show you a couple of weird ones, like just to get you kind of thinking about this. But we looked at just trying to locate them. Look up and reference text, date and time, database. It's the information formulae I'm looking for. There they are. These information formulae, like, they're very, very interesting. Like this info formula, if we just go info, open brackets, and then I can choose any of these, and Excel tells us the operating system that we're on. I'm on Windows 64-bit. Info formula again. The current directory or folder, version of Excel that you're using. I remember I was doing this in the stream as well. So how do I get those prompts back? Please open brackets. There they are. Say it again. We'll get there. We always get there. We always get there. Okay, so let's go with version of Excel. No, we will get there. Let's go with the version of Excel. I'm going to hit enter this time. Didn't work. How did I just do that? Equals info. I've got to finish this now, guys. Equals info, release, tab. There we go. So it tells you the version of Excel you're working in as well, you know, which could be interesting. Could be interesting for the programmer. It's certainly interesting to know if you're on Windows or Mac. That's certainly interesting because different VBA techniques work better on Mac as opposed to Windows. So that's potentially interesting for us. Yeah, so we've learned about this info formula. We've learned about the sheets function as well. This was a strange one. So does Excel know the number of sheets in the file? Or was it sheets? I'm not sure. Let's try sheet. Yeah, this sheet function, for example, yeah, returns the sheet number of the sheet. So I'm just moving the sheet through the file now, and you can see that sheet number changing. Incredible, like weird and wonderful Excel formulae. Anyway, all of these formulae you can find in the Excel formula quiz tool, and you can see the formula definitions here, and all of them are tested in the quiz. And I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get 100% again. And if you want to come on and have a little go, have a little chat and have a little go with the quiz, that'd be great. You can just follow the link into the stream. What does the sort function do? Sorts the contents of a range or array. Yeah, the sort function is another new function in Excel. Excel 2019, one of those dynamic functions. Really cool. What does dcount A do? Counts the number of non-blank cells in a database. Can I get 100% again? What does the true function do? Returns the logical value, true, I think. What does the date value function do? Yeah, that converts a serial number. No. It converts the date in the form of text to a serial number. Already mentioned the date value function in the stream. What does the DB function do? I have no idea. DB, depreciation, internal rates of return, yield. Ooh, I've got no idea. Oh, I managed to get it right though. Okay. Yes, I did manage to get it right. What does the false function do? Returns the logical value false. 100%. Again, hyperlink function. That's going to create a shortcut to jump somewhere, another document or on the internet. What does the not function do? Reverses the logic of the argument. What does the D product function do? It's going to multiply because it's product. There we go. Can I get 100% again? What does the exact function do? I have no idea. It must see if two text values are identical. And I did. That's twice. That's twice I managed to get 100% of the Excel formula quiz tool. Anyway, guys, yeah, you can download the Excel formula quiz tool. Any final questions coming into our last 10 minutes? Any final questions, guys, you can put them in the chat. You can join me in the stream. But yeah, you can go ahead, download the Excel formula quiz tool, of course. And if you go ahead and sign up for Excel VBA building blocks, which is absolutely free, and the link's in the video description below, it will get you access to the next stream, which is starting in about 15 minutes. There's a 2.5-hour walkthrough of how I built this file. So if we go back here, Excel VBA complete model walkthrough, the video features the building of a real-world VBA tool from scratch. Will you be able to understand all the coding? Probably not, but that's not the point. The real point is to try to pick up on the meta skills that allow Chris to create powerful VBA applications in just a couple of hours. And you can follow this 2 hours, 15 minutes. And in that time, I built this quiz tool using Excel VBA. So yeah, if you want to move on to more powerful Excel VBA applications, maybe you've been doing things like recording and playing macros, that's a great place to start. But if you want to move on to more powerful stuff, then this is a great demonstration to watch. So any final questions, please? Put this in the chat here. Yeah, any final questions, guys? Or we will wrap it up. Almost got to an hour. So we'll wrap it up and get ready for the next stream, which is the Excel VBA building blocks. And you can go ahead, of course, and go through the link in the description and join us for that one as well. Any final questions in the chat? Let's go and pick up on a few more cool formulae while we're at it. Yeah, so on Members Monday, we're working through each category one by one. It's worth remembering this as well, because you've just got a big chunk of information, haven't you? You've just got 500 formulae. How would you begin to access those 500 formulae? Well, the category can be really helpful. So each Excel formula falls into a category. These Excel formulae are all to do with working with a database. And it makes me laugh when people say Excel's not a database. Well, Excel calls itself a database. Excel actually has database formulae. Now, I kind of agree. That it shouldn't be used exclusively as a database, but for a lot of people, that's what they use it for. They use it to store data. The database formulae, and these are so cool. You know, if you're only going to learn one category, I would recommend learning the database formulae. If you're tired of pivot tables, you know, who's not, unless you're an absolute Excel devotee and pivot table expert, then you can get the power of pivot tables using Excel formulae. DSUM in particular, I've got a video on DSUM on the channel. I've got about 700,000 views this year. It's just a great alternative to using some of the Excel facilities. So database formulae, date and time formulae, you know, essential if you want to get anywhere with dates and times in Excel. Text formulae, great for working with text. Lookup and reference. So here we've got things like lookup. So formulae that are going to look down a table and look up stuff, and the index function in there as well. Excel's logical formulae, a little bit more obscure, but yeah, there's kind of little operators and an or, so you might combine those with an if formula to specify certain conditions. Then it gets a bit more obscure. You get into your statistical functions. There's a few useful ones in here, you know, the median, the min, max, min ifs. There's quite a few useful ones, to be honest, but a lot of them, like what's this one, for example, neg binome distribution, a lot of them more specialist statistical formulae. And after that, it does get a bit more specialist. But that's a bit of an introduction. Once again, you can go and download this file absolutely for free. And yeah, every day. Why not do it every day? Every day, do a quiz, pick up on a new formula, and see if you can gradually improve over time. Excel is a skill. Excel is a skill, of course. So it's only going to get better with practice, and it won't get any better without practice. Fantastic. Okay. Thanks so much for joining the stream, guys. And don't forget, we're going to be going live in the building blocks course in just a second. Follow the link through, go to the bottom of the building blocks course on the website, and you'll be able to get to the live link. Fantastic. So thanks so much for watching, guys. And we'll be back very soon with another Excel Help Desk. Take care.